Hello. What would you do if you lost everything? If you were a teenager and all the things that you knew that comforted you were gone in a flash, what would you do? These are some of the thoughts that Todd Strasser throws at readers who encounter his novel, No Place. No Place has a main character. That main character is Dan Halpern. Dan is forced into homelessness because his parents have lost their jobs. His dad was a youth director of sports programs for at-risk teens trying to stay away from gangs, and his mother was a stockbroker. Through this losing of their jobs, they eventually lose their home as well, something that they were trying to avoid and keep Dan out of. However, one of the things that happens in No Place is that Dan becomes kind of an everyman hero. That, to me, is one of the unique qualities of this book that Todd Strasser does. He surrounds the character of Dan with characters that add to his kind of everyman-esque personality. There's nothing too spectacular about him other than he's a great pitcher. His conscience, not always the best. But it's the characters that surround him and the circumstances and the town that all kind of drive him as a main character and, to some degree, a hero. So, one of the characters that is very close to our character Dan is his best friend Noah. Noah is his catcher. And let's take a look and see what Strasser says about the two of them together. In baseball, the pitcher and catcher together are called the battery, which is kind of strange since when they're pitching and catching, neither is batting. It's the tightest unit on the outfield. Outfielders and infielders have to work together to turn plays, but no two guys have to be more in sync than the battery. Noah Williams and I have been a battery for so long that we were beyond in sync. We didn't only finish each other's sentences, we sometimes started them. This shows the character of Noah as somebody who's very tight with his buddy, and Dan needs him throughout the novel. Second character I would like to discuss is that of Talia. Talia is the cutest girl in school, very popular type girl, and she really likes Dan. However, what happens when Dan tells her that he loses his home, his status as jock extraordinaire? Will she still be as true to him, or is she more shallow? Let's see what Strasser says. We went out to the courtyard and sat on a bench. It was chilly, and Talia hugged herself. Your dad's still looking for a job, isn't he? Was she trying to come up with the explanation she imagined she needed when our friends asked about me being homeless? Oh, yeah, I said, although he'd probably have better luck panning for gold in the muddy stream that ran behind Dignityville. Jobs running sports programs for poor inner-city kids no longer existed. The government couldn't afford them anymore. But even that wasn't the whole story. Like Mom, Dad just seemed to be giving up. Talia hunched over and squeezed her hands between her knees as if some invisible weight was pressing down on her. She might have even been fighting back tears. Someone else might have given her grief for thinking only of herself, but that wasn't fair. When I'd started dating her, it wasn't because of her politics or great humanitarian endeavors. It was because she was hot, popular chick, and she'd started dating me because I was a popular, studly jock. Not a popular, studly, homeless jock. So there is a good example of how Strasser takes these characters and fuses them together to kind of create this everyman. It's not just one single character, it's the character, and he embodies all of the other people. So, if you're looking for a really good read, something that is entertaining and can give you some real understanding of maybe some of the plights that some of the students come in that might want to read this book. This is a good one. Some of the statistics that I found after reading this book, in 2011, 2012, there were 1.1 million homeless students. That was a Department of Education statistic. So I think it's imperative that if you want to know some of the issues that surround students and young adults, take a look at No Place. It's a little bit different because it does tackle some weighty issues for teens. But if you're looking for a gnome, spell casting, fire breathing vampire, not your kind of book. But if you're looking for something a little more realistic and a little more gritty for your young adult audience, No Place, you should give it a try.